Hello, my name is Isaac Muthui, CEO and founder of Nurucoin, the first Pan-African cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And many people have been asking, why are you in this technology? And we will be demystifying what blockchain is, and I will tell you why I got into this. First, I love my country and my continent, Africa, with passion. And I have traveled in quite a number of countries and learned a few things. And one of the things that I really must share with you is Africa, we seem to wait for too long to take a risk. We spend most of the times analyzing, creating a committee that looks into the other committee that was looking into the other committee that was looking into the other committee of inquiry, and we never get to any point. And honestly speaking, and on my opinion, it is riskier not to try blockchain than trying it. The reason being, many countries are embracing this. There is a restaurant in California that is only been accepting Bitcoin and the related cryptocurrencies. Amazon are on it. Richard Branson is on it. Microsoft, they just rolled out their own coin called IOTA for cloud computing. And when you look at Europe, let me talk about Swiss. Switzerland is almost being called the crypto valley because all the innovations surrounding cryptocurrencies and related blockchain are happening there. The only country in Africa that seems to have embraced this is Mauritius, and I went to Mauritius to apply for the sandbox license because Mauritius says that yes, we may not be having the legislation about this, but we have a sandbox license waiting to do the legislation for this. And out of the companies that had applied for the same currency, we were the first African country to request for this kind of license. And the reason as to why I thought it good, personally, I of course, like everybody, 4 years ago when I started hearing about Bitcoin, I did not bother. My friend sent me a link to buy, and I did not bother because I could not really understand what all this is. Then earlier this year, I was in Seattle, and someone from Philippines was talking about it in a meeting that I was supposed to address. So before I addressed the gathering, a gentleman was given a few minutes to talk about Bitcoin. When I listened and I saw videos, I decided immediately to register for an online course. So I registered the first course with Princeton University. Then later, I did several courses with Udemy. I've gotten like now 6 certifications. My last course that I did was A to Z of running an ICO. And the more I kept on learning and understanding blockchain, I realized that this is the future. And I want to take you back. When you think about cryptocurrencies themselves, they might be having issues, and for sure they're having issues. But I'll tell you, the reason for creating cryptocurrencies was the natural way of a man loving incentives that actually cryptocurrencies only contribute to around 10% of the whole technology. That the technology itself, blockchain technology, is a whole 90%, and it can solve more problems in Africa more than in any other place in the world. There is no place in the world where we have many problems that can be solved by blockchain like in Africa. And I'll give you an example. It is only in Africa continent where we keep fighting for the land, because the very nature of land being land registries and the land records being stored by a central authority that can be corrupt. It's already a problem. If you look at all African countries, the voting, for example, there is always a fight almost in every country when there is when it's time to vote. It has even been passed to the universities. We are seeing young people, when they are voting, they can no longer vote in peace, and they are fighting. We have got a lot of institutions from savings and credit unions, board of directors, parliaments that need very transparent voting systems. Look at the insurance industry. banking industry. I've already seen quite a number of institutions adopting this blockchain technology. So let us separate the cryptocurrency with blockchain for now, because we will revisit the issue of cryptocurrencies and probably their future. But for now, let us stick to blockchain technology. And the reason as to why I decided to do the Pan-African blockchain is, if we do not do it, someone will come and do it for us. And we are used to Africa getting people doing solutions and eventually selling any solution to us. Before long, I'm sure governments will be looking at the use of cryptocurrency, whether it is in the storage of records or it is in identity management. I know soon that is what's going to happen. I was looking at the Bank of New York. They are using blockchain, for example, now to store their records. The GT Bank in Nigeria is exploring the use of technology. Recently, the CEO for Equity Bank said that they have gotten systems in place to explore blockchain technology. But the question is, the existing networks, who manages and controls them? If you go around Cisco networks and Juniper networks, for example, the Junius, which is an operating system by the Juniper networks, or the Cisco operating system for running network. What Cisco did, they came in Africa and they introduced CCNA, which is a Certified Network Systems Administrator. It was introduced into our colleges, and that was a way to sell their infrastructure. But the question is that, does it mean that we will always be adopting solutions in Africa that are developed elsewhere? And I embarked on the road less traveled, not because I am an all-knowing person or I'm extremely smart than any other person, but because I love my continent. That blockchain is giving possible job opportunities to a lot of people. If you find a blockchain developer, they charge a whole $10,000, $20,000, up to even $100,000. And this is an industry, as the government and people keep on fighting and not knowing the directions to go. There are countries that have adopted this, like Belarus, Ukraine, Russia, and America, and you get developers from there. And I'm asking myself, if to develop, for example, smart contracts using Solidity, which is Ethereum, you are paying a whole $10,000. Well, there must be controversies around this. But if I have 1,000 developers in Africa who are bringing in this $10,000 to Africa, it means that we are solving our problem of joblessness. And when it goes to the level where we'll be adopting this technology, and the banks are ready to adopt this technology, are we now going to build our platforms based on third-party platforms? Or we need to build our own blockchain originating from Africa that we can build on top of it other blockchains? In other words, we build a blockchain of blockchains, and we build expertise within the African continent that can support the emerging problems. Or are we going to go back to what the banks do, what the governments do, that whenever they want to tender for any solution, whether it's internet-based, web-based, or mobile, we do international tendering? That we have 90% of all the solutions from Italy, from Germany, from America. Now that we are presented with the internet of the future being blockchain, leave alone even cryptocurrency, why not embrace this early? Create crypto academies that, as you talk about regulating the cryptocurrencies, at least you are embracing the technology and you are creating the future. Because the future, again, like I said in my earlier videos, belongs to them that create it. It does not belong to you because you are living today. Future is created, and to create a future, it means embracing what is good, trying to be part of it, and not to do rush to start importing, like the banks. When they start now embracing technology, they start tendering for already established solutions. When the government says, let us do land registry, now they are going to outside of Kenya to look for already an existing platform, blockchain platform, to create land registry. Why not at this early stage, like anybody in the world, say yes, this is a green area, and Africa, we are not underdogs, we are not nobodies, that we have always borrowed everything, that yes, we know it is not an easy way, it is not a straight path, but we want to take the road less traveled. We look at embracing the technology to create it here, and not just for Africa, but to sell to the rest of the world. That as the rest of the world sells this to us, we are also selling it. Thank you.